Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Cox, and I'm the host of the New America Movement. Thank you for tuning in again. Today, we have a great show for you, but before we get into it, let me say welcome my son, Jordan Cox, host of this great show, New America Movement. Jordan.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Real fast, I just want to say, please comment, like, share, and follow New America Movement. Follow us on Twitter. Check us out on Roku. Get us on Facebook. You know, all of these major and minor platforms you got out here that you listen to your podcast. Go check us out on those too. The Roku thing, America Voices Network. So please go download that. It's blowing up left and right. Thank you guys so much. Let's get this show started.
Well, been a little disaster that happened with Norfolk Southern, who takes a train through East Palestine. It's not Palestine. Of course, you hear it's that. So if you hear that, we're not talking about the Middle East. We're talking about right here in America, in Ohio. We've had this massive train derailment, and it has sent up a tremendous amount of toxic chemicals throughout the whole disaster area. And from what I understand, somebody from the federal government said, let's burn this stuff. That's the way to fix it. We'll just stick a match to it. And someone said, well, how do you know the government done it? Well, no capitalist in his right mind would have ever thrown a match on gasoline and said, hey, this will work out best for us. So my understanding is it was the federal government said, we'll see if we can burn it. But that's been a disaster too. It's sent a plume all the way, from what I understand, all the way into New York State. This thing is leaking this toxic material into the water stream, which connects to the Ohio River, eventually winds up in the Mississippi River. And this stuff is not mouthwash. This stuff is not just your basic Clorox. This stuff is deadly. And if you look along the lines of the water systems, it's already killing off animals. People are developing all types of chronic problems. So we're going to follow this. But what's interesting is how our president, Joe Biden, said he is a man of the people. He said, you can count on me. When you need me, I'm going to be there. I think Ronald Reagan said that was some of the most scariest words an American citizen could ever hear. So here's the Biden administration. He gets elected and he says, I'm a man of the people. I'm not like the right big corporations. I'm right here for the little people. And now that this disaster has happened, nobody has seen the Biden administration. As a matter of fact, it's almost been a silent thing that's happened over the first few days, but nobody would touch it. Now, just think about it as an attack on communities that lack political influence and power. You're almost ignored in this country. If this would have happened in some places, hours after it happened, it'd have been everywhere. What do you think, Jordan?
Are you talking about like in a predominantly minority area? Yeah, Biden would have been there because it's a political hotspot.
Would Antifa and Black Lives Matter have been there?
Probably. I mean, if they wouldn't have been down there,
Fast enough.
If they wouldn't have been down there within 48 hours, you know, it would be a scene. So he would have been there for sure. I know where you're going. That absolutely, he would have been there. I guess didn't decide he didn't think he needed to do anything or go.
Is it just because these are white people? I'm just asking the question.
It's not politically. It's just not a political hotspot. Right? It's not a political hotspot to go and do that. But he has said, I am the president for the people. Like I want to help listen to the people, and I'm doing all blah, blah, blah. And he's lied every turn about that because he's just not.
The people of Palestine said they haven't seen him or any help at all from the government. And matter of fact, they had to go in outside sources to get enough media coverage to get the major networks to even play it. So the point I'm making is that, man, this little white community, these little poor white people have been completely ignored by the government. It's my spin on it.
Yeah, no, and you're absolutely right. Donald Trump actually came out and said Biden and FEMA, he tweeted this out, Biden and FEMA said that they would not be sending federal aid to East Palestine. As soon as I announced that I'm going, he announced the team will go. Hopefully he will also be there. This is good news because we got them to, quote unquote, move. The people of East Palestine need help. I'll see you on Wednesday. And so the thing is you decided not to go until Trump decided to go. And it's almost like you're just following to where you need to go because you're like, oh, okay, well, Trump's doing it, so now I got to do it. And it's not a good look. He don't care nothing about these people. And another thing is China's calling this thing the Ohio Chernobyl. They're literally mocking the U.S. for caring too much about the spy balloon and not focusing on this. And what they're saying is they're saying, hey, you guys were too worried about the spy balloon that you let a train blow up down here, and these chemicals are coming out and killing all these people, or going to kill all these people, and you not even going down there to help them. So we're the laughingstock of the nation once more from the Biden administration. Also, there are people that live there in East Palestine. Now, this is where this gets insane. I don't know if y'all know this, but in 2022, the Netflix film White Noise came out, and it follows a family in Ohio after a freight train crashes and explodes. Anybody putting two and two together yet? Okay. Spilling toxic chemicals into the air. You caught up? And includes extras from East Palestine. So these extras from East Palestine that live there are saying, holy cow, we just did a movie about this very same thing. And now this has happened. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I think we landed on the moon. I'm just not that type of guy. If you show me some facts and stuff, we can have a conversation, and hey, by all means, you can change my mind. But this is fishy.
Well, I have to say, the odds of that happening, I'd like to hear a mathematician do some numbers on the odds of making a film like this in a community and then it actually happening. Now, has this Netflix series played yet, White Noise?
Yes, it's in 2022.
Okay, so it just came out, boom, and now here you have the same scenario occurring. I mean,
pretty much like verbatim.
Yeah, it is. And then the people who played extras actually went running for their lives. See, that's...
And I'm glad you brought that up, that they went running for their lives. You know what the CEO of Norfolk Southern came out and said? He's going to give them $1,000 for leaving and having to be $1,000. That's what they're going to get. So all you people of East Palestine, they're there to help you. They're going to give you $1,000. What the heck is $1,000 going to get you? Now, I know that may be the starting point of all of this, but you're going to give $1,000. That's $1,000, really? Well, and not just that. Now you're coming in saying 2 weeks later, or a week later, week and a half later, all these time later. You're here.
Yeah, what's interesting is this thing had to become a political hotbed for the people of East Palestine to get any attention at all.
Yes.
This thing happened. Norfolk Southern was nowhere around to comfort or to help or to.
If this happened in L.A., they would be there the next day. If this happened in New York, they'd be there the next day. If this happened in any big, huge city, they would be there. If this happened in a minority community, they would be there.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. It makes you wonder that if you had a disaster in your community, is it the color of your skin or your religion that would determine if the federal government would help? Because
this is just where we're at now.
Because it's almost like there's a pick and choose here. If you're not important and you're not a political pawn, because the Biden administration did not respond until their hand was forced on it. Matter of fact, it was Trump who began to bring in his opinion on this and say, hey, these people need help, before the Biden administration really began to act. And what is shocking is that why would you can't get the proper analysis on this, as smart as our country is, within a few hours and say, hey, these people need help. And I don't think they need ambulances. I think what they need is the support of their government to show that we're on this. We're going to clean it up. We're going to make the right decision. But what's interesting is when this thing happened, somebody actually set a match to this chemical. Give me the pronunciation of this chemical again. It's
It's vinyl chloride.
Vinyl chloride, okay, which is an extremely toxic material. That
very toxic chemical.
Yeah, it's not mouthwash. It's not Clorox.
Yeah, so the mayor of East Palestine actually said that when the CEO of Norfolk Southern got there and stuff, he said, they're in the process of cleaning it up, and he says, I am seeing that some of the progress being made. He said, and he pauses and he goes, but I still got some questions about the air, because you set it on fire and now everything's is it just rises up to the air after or before whenever it first crashed, and now when you set it on fire, it's all of this is going in the air. So if are you climate people out there, where y'all at?
And that had to be one of the craziest, unless they were trying to do it to keep it running in the water system. I don't know, but I mean,
I'm very confused. So where are all these Green New Deal people at? Like, hey, Greta Thunberg.
You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. How dare you?
I don't see you out there screaming in Ohio. It's funny how y'all all want to go to the clean air to talk about the bad air, but you don't want to go to where the crap's actually happening to say, hey, these people need help. This is something that you could actually make a difference on, and instead, y'all are folded up like a lawn chair. Excuse me if I call out the hypocrisy, because they have said, one of the biggest natural disasters in American history. Could be, potentially, for real.
It's not a natural disaster. It is a disaster.
If it gets in the water and everything like that, it will become a natural disaster, which then that's what everybody's worried about. They're like, our water there's people of East Palestine taking showers. I was at my girlfriend's house watching the news, and this woman gets on there and she says, look, I came back, I took a shower. When I got out of the shower, I had red rashes all on my face and my neck. My boyfriend had them down his back. And so they left again and went back. And they're like, we're not coming back here. Because we don't know if this, and the issue is 10 years later, are you going to be able to grow crops? From the water and stuff, everybody's drinking bottled water now. No one's drinking no water from their faucets or anything. So everybody's worried about is livestock drinking waters. Are they going to get sick and die? Can we plant plants? This is a small rural community. Where is their help? Biden, you talk about how you are there for the people. You talk about how you love the people. Why aren't you ever there for the people?
Well, it's interesting because everything in America is so politically based that any story that pops up that doesn't have political spin on it,
they're not there.
Nobody's going to be there for you. So there has to be something that it can tie into.
So this isn't a black or white thing. This isn't a left or right thing. This isn't this is just this wasn't big. This wasn't big politically at the moment. Now it is. So now we're there. And that's all this country's came down to now. This country is all they don't care about your skin color. You think Biden cares if you're no, he don't. He's using it as a political tool. The same way all of this is, and it's sad because people are getting sick. People evacuated their homes. People had to leave their homes potentially to never come back. You just don't know. And now you got a president that's screaming at the top of his lungs that he's there for the American people, and he's never there for anybody. Tell me a place that he's been for the American people.
The border, the border. He went to the border.
He's making jokes. I said, tell me a place that he's been to. He sent Kamala there. I think. I don't think he's ever seen that border, man. I think if you showed him the picture of the southern border, he'd be like, man, that looks nice right there. What is that? Is that my gate in my backyard? How'd y'all get a picture of that?
I could be wrong, but I think he did visit a month or so.
No, he did.
And I don't think he went to the bad parts. I think they just
showed
him the flower gardens.
He went to he went through all the little the easy stuff. Oh, there's a little hole right there.
No, I think he went through Cancun.
He probably did. Yeah. He had a mimosa in his hand as he walked.
Said, "Hey, this is the border here." No, that's the beach. No, it's the border.
He got lost, and Jill was like, "God Almighty!" Yeah. Somebody, he's in Mexico, guys. Go get him. He's over in Mexico. Go get his butt.
Well, interesting enough, a lot of stuff happens in this country that people need to talk about and need to figure out what kind of leaders you want to be able to turn this country around and get us on the right track. everything can't be about politics. Sometimes it just got to be about the American people. Do the right thing when the chips are down and make
Every
the right
time.
decisions.
It needs to be
Step
about
up
the
your
American
game, make it happen, because there are times this country just needs its people. And let me say this as we close. This is still the greatest country in the world. I've traveled all over the world, and I can tell you there's no place like coming home to America. I love this country. I love its people. I love black people, white people, Chinese people that live here. I love Latinos. I love everybody. I'm not a anti certain style of man that you gotta like.
Yeah,
America's
absolutely.
just a great country. And I thank God to be able to have lived in a place like this. And I want to keep this country great. And I want to fight with my voice to raise up leaders to take a stand and say, I'm going to make something happen in this country that represents us and keeps us the nation that our forefathers intended it to be.
If this train was in Louisiana, in a predominantly black area, I would be screaming the same thing. If it was in New York, if it was in the Hamptons, I would be screaming the same thing. It's because we're Americans. We are the American people. You are there to come help us when we need help. You're not there to come 2 weeks later. You're not there to come whenever. You are there to help us. Give me $1,000 for leaving my house and see how quick my butt comes up your foot. Oh, my foot comes up your butt. Oh, I'll be so upset. You tell me, oh, you left your home. Here's you $1,000. $1,000. You better add a couple more zeros to that and a couple commas. What crap you talking about? $1,000.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
Hey, Greta, go to Ohio.
Well, this is our show. It's interesting. Thank you so much for tuning in to the New America Movement. We'll see you again next week. Jordan, say a word and we're closing.
Hey, thank you guys. Don't forget, comment, like, share, and follow New America Movement. God bless, and God bless America. We sure gonna need them, especially with these crazy people in office.
Thank you and have a great day. God bless.